First, the brutal and cold-blooded murder of a young techie in Pune a few days ago has put the focus on a little-known radical group that calls itself the Hindu Rashtra Sena. Mohsin was beaten to death only because of his religion. While 17 men of the radical group have been arrested, many are asking why its founder Dhananjay Desai wasn't in jail already. Mr. Desai has more than 20 cases of rioting and inflammatory speeches against him, according to reports. And he has also reportedly openly said that he doesn't care about the police notices that come to him, warning him not to make such speeches. He says, in fact, in one Facebook post, apparently, that he throws those notices into the dustbin. Is there a lack of political will, therefore, to take on radical elements in this country, to take on fringe groups? And is this something that political parties across the board are guilty of? Do we need to see a more strong response from both the new government at the centre, from Prime Minister Modi, as well as the state government in Maharashtra, to what has happened to this young man in Pune? Let me take that first question tonight to Rahul Narvekar, who has joined the NCP recently. He was in the Shiv Sena earlier. Rahul Narvekar, your party, the NCP, it is in power in Maharashtra. Why is Dhananjay Desai still a free man, in the sense that until now, why was he still a free man? He's had all these cases against him in the past. He has been arrested before. And yet, you know, the action against him just hasn't been strong enough. Rahul Narvekar.
Well, Nidhi, at the outset, let me tell you the background of this entire case. This is an outfall of the wrong pictures that were portrayed on, or the absolutely disgusting pictures that were portrayed on the social media, after which the entire state of Maharashtra was under immense stress and immense tension. However, I must compliment the Maharashtra police, who've done an excellent job of keeping the situation under control. Insofar, there could have been a serious law and order situation had the Maharashtra police not acted in time and acted as swiftly as they did. Insofar as the incident in Pune is concerned, it's an absolutely it's an incident which can be how much ever you criticize it, it is less, and it has been condemned by one and all. Insofar as the Pune police is concerned, Pune police has already made necessary arrests. The investigation is in progress, and let me assure you, in a short time, the Pune police will nab the culprits and they will be booked and taken to task.
But Rahul, the point is that Dhananjay Desai, the founder of this group, is not new to creating trouble in the state. He has been arrested before. He is known to make inflammatory speeches. The police are very familiar with him. My point is, why, you know, what surprised me actually was that this group, the Hindu Rashtra Sena, is not even technically banned, for what it's worth. The police in Pune are now saying that they will now attempt to at least get this group banned. So, you know, why wasn't he already behind bars, is the question.
See, like I've told you earlier, the investigation is underway. I wouldn't want to jump the gun. I would like to leave the investigation part of it to the Pune police. The Pune police are doing their job, and let me assure you, if Dhananjay or any other person for that matter, if at all they are guilty, if at all there is some kind of incriminating evidence against such people, I am sure the Pune police will not spare anyone. The Maharashtra government has taken up this matter very, very seriously. This issue has been discussed at length, and the government has already instructed that the most strict action should be taken in this behalf, and no one should be spared, irrespective of any any affiliation whatsoever.
Okay, well, we have the former Police Commissioner of Mumbai, Mr. M.N. Singh, joining us as well. Mr. Singh, does it surprise you in a sense that someone like Dhananjay Desai could operate so freely despite the kind of speeches, despite having criminal cases against him and making the kind of speeches that he has? Because Maharashtra actually has a history, even with the Congress NCP government, of going soft in a sense on radical elements. It's not just the Congress NCP government, but they certainly have been guilty of it in the past.
Well, yes, Nidhi, my information is that this man was arrested immediately on the day the murder took place. And I have had a word with the police officers of Pune, and I have been informed that they have found good evidence to fix a charge of murder against these people. Now the question is that these people already were indulging in this kind of a mischief, and there was some kind of a history or a background, and why the police did not act in advance. Well, that is the thing which needs to be looked into. Really speaking, this man has indeed been interrogated in a couple of other hate crimes and probably been arrested also in the past. With all that background available, there is certainly a question as to why he was not dealt with much earlier, could have been detained, some action could have been taken against his party or his organization, which has not been done, and I think this will have to be looked into as to why the police did not act in time. Now, I understand that going by the website of this what is called the Hindu Rashtra Sena or something, that this is registered as a political party itself, even though it has not participated in any elections, but it has canvassed in support of certain candidates, even in the last parliamentary election, and its motive is very well written on the website, that it stands to fight for the religion, for the God and for the nation. It is quite clearly a radical organization, and it has to be dealt with very firmly so that it doesn't create problem. I may say also that Pune of late has been reporting many such incidents of radical elements attacking people who champion certain cause, like what happened. Davolkar was killed about 10 months ago last year.
Why do you think that's happening, sir? Why do you think that's happening?
That is because
does this have to do with the Maharashtra elections coming up, and is there a fear that this kind of attempt will increase in the run-up to the assembly polls, and is that also why there is a kind of a silence from the state leadership as well as the BJP at the center?
I won't be able to attach any political motive straight away, but I do appreciate the concern that you have in your mind, that going by the past experience, people do feel that, well, when it comes to taking action against certain radical elements, the authorities probably look around and see whether this could be avoided. It has happened in Mumbai, it has happened elsewhere also, and therefore I would say that your suspicion or fear is quite justified, but I am not in a position to straight away impute any political motive for this.
Okay.
I suppose we should give enough time to the authorities. I agree with Mr. Narvekar that the police acted very fast, have taken effective action. This could have exploded into a major communal conflagration in Pune and elsewhere in Maharashtra, which did not happen.
That's true.
And to that extent, I would like to give credit to the police of Pune, and I suppose the Home Minister of Maharashtra has indeed spoken something about it. Let us wait and watch.
But
and
why has the Chief Minister, let me just take this to Mr. Sanjay Jha, the Congress spokesperson. Sanjay, why has Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, for instance, not come out more strongly in condemnation of this? You know, it's not just about a sound bite here and there. I mean, we need to see the top political leadership of the state come out and say this is not on. And I ask you the same question because you head the government there in Maharashtra. Why should someone like Dhananjay Desai have even been free, been out of jail when this happened?
Nidhi, firstly, you have heard the former police commissioner, Mr. M.N. Singh's statement, and Rahul Narvekar before that. I think I'm not saying this merely because, you know, our party is in government in Maharashtra, but the truth is that the police has possibly contained, and the government needs to be congratulated for allowing the situation to be immediately curtailed before it escalated into a very dangerous communal tension. I have also read Mr. Prithviraj Chavan's statement. I think he's made a very emphatic statement on action that the government will take. He's also said that he's already got in touch with the center, with the Ministry of Home. He's waiting to hear from them. The truth of the matter at this point, Nidhi, is that there is clearly a sinister pattern that is emerging. You see, you can't look at the Pune incident of Mohsin Sheikh in splendid isolation. I come from Pune, and I can tell you that, you know, there seems to be an attempt to make it into some kind of a laboratory for all kinds of devious experiments. If you look at what happened with Mr. Davolkar earlier. And the second point, look at what happened to Mr. U.R. Anantamurthy, you know, after the BJP government came to power. You know, he's got threatened. People have said, we'll give you a single ticket to Pakistan. And he's actually had to take all kinds of protection. Look at the banning of the books that are involved. On the day the BJP wins the power at the center, the Dr. Megha Kumar's book suddenly is said, well, we'll have to review the book whether it should be up for sale.
Sanjay, I
so
take
there is
your
a
point.
larger issue here, and if you include,
I take your point, but
if
my
you include
question
the
is
Goa
that
Facebooker being arrested, there are larger
this group has
challenges
been
that
under
India
the
needs to
police's
confront.
radar before. My point is this group has been under the police's radar before. Dhananjay Desai himself has been arrested before. So why wasn't it banned, for instance? I don't know how effective bans are. I'll ask Mr. Singh about that later. But the point is that it's not even actually technically a banned group. And Mr. Chavan, the chief minister, is saying, I can't really comment on that, whether it should be banned or not. Let's see what all the information is. My point is, what has the state government done to take action against these radical elements?
Nidhi, if you read what this Dhananjay Desai's case, and he's been booked several times in the past for rioting, even for issues as criminal as extortion. So clearly he is more like one of those lumpen elements who has become into what you describe as the fringe extreme right-wing group. And the only way you can really contain them is somewhere, there is this tacit, unspoken, unwritten code by which many of these small organizations flourish. Like you have Pramod Muthalik in Karnataka. You had those people who beat up Prashant Bhushan in the Supreme Court of India. So you can see there are a number of these elements that operate, but there is a silent endorsement that comes. And I would like to pose this question. I'm sorry, I don't want to make this political, but the truth is this has not been condemned in the way it should have been by the centre, and I do believe that the BJP government needs to take a clear categorical stance. I mean, I believe at the end of the day, it's about a future of India's, society and
but
politics.
law and order comes under your government in the state.
Fire.
Sanjay, law and order does come under your government in the state, and there was certainly much more that could have been done by the state government on that front to prevent groups like this from being able to have the audacity to carry out those attacks. I think that is the point. Dhananjay Desai mocks the police. He mocks the cops and he says that I get these notices and I throw them in the bin. However, I just want to take this to Nalin Kohli of the BJP who's with us, that there is also a point that is being raised, that why is the BJP central leadership not more vocal in its condemnation of what has happened? Why, for instance, hasn't Mr. Modi, as Prime Minister, said something on it?
Well, I'd like to answer, and I hope I have sufficient time. Some of it a little bit strongly about what Sanjay said. First of all, let's start with Mr. Modi. He's inherited a country that has been blissfully put on a path to disaster after 10 years of the Congress UPA rule, where the Vice President was in a state of Kumbhkarna, probably not working, and we did not have to inherit an economy which is on the brink. Let me finish. Let me finish my point. Sanjay, no, I'm going to finish my point because you have actually had the audacity of, making certain allegations against the government, which I think are not required. So I'm going to now say my bit. So I want to come on this straight. And I don't think this country deserved, after 10 years, the kind of state we are. And the people of India have, of course, sent Mr. Modi, the BJP and the NDA with a clear majority to fix things. Second is, he's not an accidental Prime Minister. He has a task cut out for himself, so he's not sitting there free. Third is, let's go one by one. This is a case.
One minute, hold on.
No, I'm just coming straight to it. No, I'm coming straight to it. It's highly condemnable. As a spokesperson of the party, I'm saying it on the record. It's unfortunate that any Indian, irrespective of his faith or her faith, is either molested or hit or killed. It's absolutely deplorable. The law has to take its own course. Now let's look at it from the multiple levels that it functions in.
But I'm coming straight. On the question of Mr. Modi, why not tweet about it and say...
Have we heard Mrs. Sonia Gandhi's comment on it?
I'm saying that the Congress has been silent. Now I'm asking about the Prime Minister of India. I'm asking about the Prime Minister of India.
And I'm coming straight to it.
Yeah.
The question of how do we deal with it, there are multiple levels and I want to answer it. Coming here, we are not going to go in tokenism, who's condemning or who's not.
Is
we need
tokenism?
Action.
No,
we
one
need
second.
action.
I have to stop you.
No,
is it tokenism?
No, I'm condemning it on the party.
He's the Prime Minister.
I am condemning it as the spokesperson of the party.
Of course you are.
That's where it is.
But do you know what a difference it would make to hear Mr. Modi condemn it even through a tweet?
And Mr. Modi is not sitting here to tweet as per the likes of whether it is there. He will choose to whether he wants to. And I think the second thing is we are not going to start politicizing everything. The Congress may wish to. We do have our task cut out. And I am going to point out to each one of the levels that it exists at. Number one, it's a case of, we are having a lot of cases of intolerance in society. Now, what's the actual situation? Law and order requires reform. There's reform required at the police end, there's reform required at the judicial end. You have 3 crore plus cases. One of the reasons that people actually are breaking the law consecutively, repeatedly, without fear, is A, because the law and order machinery requires to act faster, and 2 is the judicial process also has to be fast. Now, these are bitter pills that are going to be worked upon.
But don't groups like these thrive in an environment where politically, parties again across party lines look the other way?
Let me just try this, because I'm saying society is becoming intolerant, and I'd say this, there is a
which is why then political condemnation becomes important.
It's condemnable. It has to be nipped in the bud, because this determines the future of India too. It's not just a case of A, B, C. Each one of these incidents adds to an idea of India that shouldn't be the idea of India. But it's equally deplorable to immediately, where the word Hindu is used, to immediately link it to the BJP, or to link it...
No one is saying it's linked to the BJP.
It's been linked through the day. What about Mr. Azmi's statement?
Mr.
Azmi's statement,
this is not about the BJP.
No, Mr. Azmi's statement, Shashi Tharoor's statement, Mr. Modi's name, it's almost as if they will not be heard unless they take Mr. Modi's name. Abu Azmi, whose own son and daughter deplored his own statement on rape, the man who says DNAs need to be checked on Muslims for not voting.
If not the Prime Minister, why not the Home Minister come out and say, and say that this is unequivocally condemned, this government will not tolerate this kind of action by any such group?
It's a suggestion.
I mean, what's wrong with that?
It's a suggestion. Nothing wrong with the suggestion. It could be a possible thing.
I've been saying the Maharashtra government should have acted more strongly.
I'm saying it's a suggestion, and I say it could. But if I'm here as the party spokesperson and I'm condemning it outrightly, I'm also conveying the point of view of the party. So, I mean, I don't think you can, start structuring it unless A speaks. For example, in this country, in Tamil Nadu, 12 people have been, 6 have been murdered, 5 have been injured. All Hindus, and I'll be blunt about it. Have we seen a line of it anywhere? It's all over Twitter. So what I'm trying to say is that there is increasing examples across the country. Some, yes, regretfully, do get somewhere or the other political patronage. And I would have said the same for, say, Asaduddin Owaisi.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We are all on the same page. Yeah. The same goes for Mr. Muthalik's incidents that took place in Bangalore. They were condemnable.
Okay, so let me take this to Sudhindra Kulkarni.
But are we going to start scoring brownie points on the death of a person that shouldn't have taken place?
No, but is it, Sudhindra Kulkarni, is this about scoring brownie points over the very, very tragic and cold-blooded death of a young man? Or do you believe it is important that across the political spectrum, whether it's from the Prime Minister and the Home Minister and to the state government, there needs to be more vocal condemnation of these elements and these groups?
You see, there are hate speeches and hate crimes coming from different sources, and all must be condemned. In this particular instance, an innocent Muslim professional has been killed in what is clearly a case of hate crime, a communal crime, by an organization that goes by the name of Hindu Rashtra Sena. The government of Maharashtra, through the police, have acted swiftly, and they are to be congratulated for this. But if you go to the origin of this particular incident, some objectionable post is there on social media, suddenly a part of Maharashtra flares up. I think it is the responsibility of all political parties to urge their cadres, their members, their supporters to exercise restraint, which did not happen in this case. Stone pelting, suddenly Rasta Roko, it created a fear psychosis, not just in one particular community, but all communities in Maharashtra. And this then has led to the killing, which has, I must tell you, I have spoken to a lot of Muslim friends, there is fear. Now, this may be an isolated incident, but the government of India, the newly elected government of India, should not treat this as a small incident, because this has the potential to really flare up into something big, unless there are very reassuring statements coming from the very top that they will not tolerate any such hate crime or hate speech, irrespective of where they come from, irrespective of who the victims are. Every single Indian, irrespective of their caste, community, is entitled to protection, and the new government and of course the state governments have a responsibility to act together to ensure this. Now, I must also point out here that peace, communal harmony ends in themselves, but going by the promise of the new government that their priority, their mandate is for development and good governance, there cannot be development, there cannot be good governance without peace.
Absolutely.
Therefore, let this be an isolated incident. There should be no recurrence of this. And in Maharashtra in particular, which is going to polls in 5 months,
Absolutely.
It is the responsibility of all political parties not to take advantage of communal issues to gain electoral benefits.